Hi, I'm Kai.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and we are
The Melanin Girls.
So today is Melanin Monday, and we're going to be sharing our favorite study tips with you guys. So, if you want to start?
My tip is that basically you should listen to like something that calms you. So if you want to listen to rain or classical music, just anything that's not gonna stress you out, because you're already gonna be stressed, big test or whatever, but it can like counterweight. And my second tip is to have a friend help you if you both can focus. Some people, they like talk too much together and you get off topic, but if you have a friend that's just as serious about studying as you are, they, get your work done together.
Yeah. My two study tips are, the first one is to sit at a desk and don't be in your bed or something, because you're gonna get too comfortable and either fall asleep or get distracted. And then my second one is to turn all electronics off, turn off the TV and turn off your phone, put it on do not disturb or something like that, because if you keep on getting text messages, you're gonna focus on the text messages and not your work.
Okay. My two study tips are, the first one is when you're taking notes or when you're trying to rewrite your notes or something, you can draw pictures to relate to what you're writing. It helps, especially if you're more artistic, and pictures help you better than words. Oh, the other tip is to make examples and connections. So a lot of times I make what's called a mnemonic device. So if there's a phrase that I have to remember, we made one up that was fat bees in China can't order noodles. Some of them are obviously going to be silly, but if it helps you remember the order of something, then it's
my study tips are, I know for me, when I need to remember something, I like to write it down multiple times so it can just stick in my head and marinate. And my second study tip is, a lot of times people don't want to do things if they're not fun or interesting. So I try to spice up my notes a little bit or make a game out of it. And there's this really amazing app called Quizlet, and you can rather, it's a serious section of it and a more fun. You can rather just plain out, take notes on it, write it or whatever. Or you can kind of play matching games or fill in the blanks and stuff like that. And I think it helps with just your attention span and wanting to study and getting the job done.
I'm pretty sure a self-explanatory one is just listen and just ask questions if you need to, because that really is the key to studying really well.
And simplify your notes.
Yeah. Don't use so many big words. You can simplify everything. But yeah, that's all for our study tips. I hope you enjoyed. And now let's sit on the black bench.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to Black Bench. Today we are talking about an experience that is specific to us. So I'm sure you guys have heard of Colin Kaepernick. So basically, if you haven't, then he was a football player who kneeled during the anthem at one of the games. And after that, basically he was not on the team anymore. And after that, no one has signed him to their team. So basically, we had a protest at our school that I guess you can say was initiated by him. We have separate reasons for kneeling for the anthem, but we kind of took his example and were brave enough to do it as well. So Ashley can explain what the significance of us kneeling during the anthem was.
So basically, it is important to us to kneel for the anthem, because we don't believe, I can't speak for the whole group, but I believe that the anthem does not represent us as Black people, and it is celebrating something that was bringing us down. So I feel like we just didn't agree with it, and we got a lot of negative things from it, but I feel like we gained more than we lost.
Yeah, like she said, we got a lot of negative reactions to it. There's people that screamed at us to get out or sit down, or that we shouldn't be doing that. And a lot of people think that it's disrespectful to the military, but that's not really our aim to doing anything like this. So I wish everyone would listen to us when we said that. But of course, everyone has their opinion on things, so we can't really be heard like how we want to be. So we did get a lot of negative reactions, but we're still going to keep doing it until things are right.
So after we knelt at the game, the very first time, we got an email from the league director, and basically, to sum it up, he said, if we do it again, we're done. He's kicking us out of the league, and we still did it, of course, because it's something that's important to us. You don't sacrifice something that means that much to you, and it means a lot to us. So we did it at the next game, and we even tried to reason with the director, and then after reasoning and trying to explain ourselves, we tried to make up a penalty for it, so that way, you know, we get what we want, and if the other teams are upset, you know, they gain from it. I think it was like, what, 2 penalty shots, and we were paying some fine just so we could kneel. You know, we're trying to change things around so we can get our point across, but they still game, and he was still saying no. So at the next game, we did kneel again, and we had been kicked out, and he changed the whole policy and the rule, because of course there was nothing about it before we started something, and basically no protesting will be allowed in any form at any of their events. And we're not going to name the league or anything or our school, but I mean, that you get the point across. That's what they said. They kicked us out, and so we started a hashtag on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
social media,
social media fronts, and we got a lot of people behind it, you know, calling the director, emails, you know, getting as much work as we could to get back into the league, because, you know, this is something that means a lot to us. Of course, everybody didn't support us, and that's fine. You know, you're allowed to think what you think, just like we're allowed to kneel if we want to kneel. And eventually he emailed us saying that we could stay in the locker room and while the national anthem was playing, and that's what we do now. We know that's our form of protest. We're not kneeling, and that's the situation we're in right now. We're still protesting, and you know, if a school has a problem with it, then they can take it up with the director, because we're allowed to. We worked it out with him, and that's who matters.
But this event was really significant, not only for like the school and for us, but I feel like for a lot of people just all around, maybe just America. I'm going to go that broad, because we're so young and we're doing this. And Kaepernick, he's in the NFL and he has to deal with this, and he still hasn't gotten any justice. We were brave enough to follow in his footsteps and to continue to kneel because we know our rights and we want to have a voice. And so we were brave enough to have a voice. And obviously we had consequences, but we ended up being able to do what we needed to do in the end.
And I think another thing that was eye-opener for me is it's not just happening to celebrities or to super athletes. It's happening to local people like us who live in Atlanta, Georgia. So I think a lot of people were seeing it and was like, oh, well, that's not gonna happen to me or whatever. It can happen to you, and these people are really trying to take your given rights away from us. I feel like those are our rights and we are able to act on them.
So the anthem itself wasn't written for African Americans, blacks, whatever you want to call us, because, you know, people have choice words. But it wasn't it's celebrating the fact that we were taken from Africa and are less than them, them being, you know, slave owners. Yeah. I'm not going to say white people, because black people had slaves.
And the thing about the military that she was saying, a lot of people were like, oh, you're disrespecting the military, the people that are fighting in the military, because I guess if you're an American soldier, then that is your song. But that's not our song. So it's not disrespecting, because my family, some of my family are veterans. So obviously I'm not disrespectful towards them. I appreciate them for fighting for the country. But I feel like they're not understanding what exactly we're trying to say, because they weren't really open to hearing why we were doing it. We've tried to explain to them multiple times what the significance was of us actually kneeling and why we didn't, you know, stand for the anthem and things like that. But they weren't open to hearing that. They wanted to make their own assumptions and say, oh, they're just so disrespectful to the military. They're rude. They don't care about the dead soldiers. But that's just simply not true. Yeah. Please leave comments and let us know what you guys think about the situation, not just ours, but about Colin Kaepernick and the whole protesting thing in general. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on post notifications. Please, please, please spread the word about our channel. We want to get out there. We want people to hear these messages that we're sharing with you all. And thank you for supporting us, because without you, would be nothing.
Thank you.
This is how
We rock!